What's going on, YouTube? It's Courtside with Jerome, and you know what time it is. All-Star Weekend is over with, so you know what that means. Trade deadline. You new to the channel? Smash that like button, turn on notifications. Now it helps me, also help the channel grow. We're going to talk about today 7 NBA players who I think are going to be traded and where I think they should be traded to and why they're the good fit for that team. But you know what? I'm done talking. DJ, drop that intro.
Trying to throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me.
The first player we're going to talk about is Buddy Hield of the Sacramento Kings. Now, Buddy Hield's been in trade rumors for a minute now, and I think the best fit for him now would be to the Philadelphia 76ers. Buddy Hield this season is putting up 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. But the main thing is he's shooting 37% from 3. Philadelphia 76ers are not a good three-point shooting team. I know they have, Joel Embiid, who I do not like him, camped out at the three-point line. And, they have, Danny Green. Danny Green shooting 37% from 3, almost 38% from 3 also. But he's only give you 8 points a game. And, Philly needs another shooter. And for Buddy Hield, his life would be so much easier in Philadelphia. Ben Simmons, who's one of the best passers in the league, who, on the side note, who's also in contention as a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. And then you got Joel Embiid, who's in the candidate. He's a candidate for MVP. So Buddy Hield can only just catch and shoot. And he can also, he can put the ball on the floor too. But Buddy Hield, Philadelphia, catch and shoot, make some threes. Just bring about 40% for 3-pointers, and he'll be a big difference. I mean, that's just a lot of firepower that he can have, that he can help the team win with. LaMarcus Aldridge of the San Antonio Spurs. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is going back to the team that drafted him, number 2 overall, to the Portland Trailblazers. We know LA left the Trailblazers in 2015 to the Spurs, to go chase a ring. We know the team with Kawhi. He was supposed to be the next Tim Duncan of the franchise. He's supposed to be the face of the franchise, but Kawhi took over, and it just hadn't really been the same for LaMarcus Aldridge ever since then. And, he went to the Spurs to get a ring, but it hasn't panned out. He still don't have a ring. He's 35 years old. And on the season, he's averaging 13 points and just 4 rebounds. But, he is still valuable to a championship contending team. He still had he's still one of the best mid-game shooters in the game. He also has a very respectable three-point percentage, as he's shooting around 37%. And Portland, they just haven't found a solid big man ever since LaMarcus Aldridge left. They tried the Zach Collins experiment, and that hasn't worked. And he can be that fourth scorer, behind, Dame and CJ, Melo. You can have LA, and maybe Rodney Hood. But I think that, LA, LaMarcus Aldridge, to the Trailblazers can really put a scare in the Lakers or the Clippers. Just put a scare in them, and maybe they can eliminate one of them, a title contending team. So we'll see. And LA still, he still can bring some valuable defense for a good couple minutes. So if he can give you 13 points for the Trailblazers. That can help Dame out a lot. So we'll see. Lonzo Ball of the New Orleans Pelicans. I think Lonzo Ball is going to the Chicago Bulls. And let's just go back to the beginning. The Pelicans, they did not extend Lonzo Ball. He is the former number 2 overall pick. And from his rookie season, when he was, give you 10, 7 to 7, 10.7 rebounds, 7 assists, but he was very low efficiency. And he just seemed to not want to shoot a lot. And right now, he's having a career year. He's averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 42% from the field, and he is 38% from 3. That's the biggest number. And that's, what should be get teams a lot of interest. 38% from 3, Lonzo Ball. And he's having this career year, it's getting overshadowed by Zion, who became an All-Star for the first time. Congratulations on him. And the team want to build around Zion. They feel like, Zion has reached his ceiling, or he reached his potential quicker than Lonzo has in a short amount of time. And they can move Lonzo to the Bulls, and they can easily slide Eric Bledsoe, who they got from this offseason, to the point and have him play the one. But I just think Lonzo to the Bulls would be good. Just imagine Lonzo on the fast break with Zach Levine, throwing fast break alley-oops to Zach Levine, and just how much easier Zach Levine life can be with Lonzo, with his court vision, seeing the floor. And Lonzo assists would definitely go up, and Zach Levine points will go up also, just because of Lonzo Ball. But maybe, Lonzo can, help bring some more credibility, help push the Bulls to a playoff spot. We'll see. But I just think Lonzo will be a better fit with the Bulls because, Zach Levine loves to run. So we'll see how it goes for the season. Victor Oladipo, Houston Rockets. I think Victor Oladipo should go to the Miami Heat. I mean, he got traded from Indiana to the Rockets in the James Harden trade. He was part of the James Harden trade. But it's been a struggle for the Rockets. Ever since they traded James Harden and, they released DeMarcus Cousins and they had this 12-game losing streak, and then they announced to the media and to the public that, hey, we're going to rebuild now. And Oladipo, to me, belongs on Miami. He's still putting up his numbers that he gave you in Indiana with the All-Star. He's giving you 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. But he's not that All-Star caliber player no more. But his defense still remains, very good. And we know Eric Spoelstra loves defense. That's his game plan is defense and just hustle. It's defense and hustle, and Oladipo definitely brings that. And, he can also, they have a bunch of expiring contracts to help facilitate. They have like the Kendrick Nunn, and, you can do a Kendrick Nunn for Victor Oladipo trade. But I just think Oladipo to the Heat would be, and, him and Jimmy Butler, that just would be it'd just be a all-out hustle sprint defense team they have. So I think it'll work for him in Miami. Kimmel Walker, Boston Celtics. Now, I think Kimmel Walker should go to the Dallas Mavericks. We thought Kimmel was going to be this better version of Kyrie when he got traded to the Celtics, minus the championship ring. And he's going to take Boston over the hump, and they're going to be a championship contender team. They're going to be a big three with Kemba, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. And it just hasn't been the case. Kemba has been injury prone this season. He missed the first 3 weeks of this season. He has struggled with his shot. And this season he's averaging 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, but he's shooting 38% from the field and just making that contract just a bust. It's becoming an albatross. And the Celtics don't need Kemba. I mean, they got Jason Tatum. They got Jaylen Brown, who took his game to a whole nother level, and he became a first-time All-Star. And they don't need him. But Dallas, the Mavs need Kemba because Luka, he needs help. Porzingis is inconsistent, not with his play, just with his availability. He's been injury-prone. And Luka needs another playmaker to take some of the load off his hand with the playmaking. And Kemba can come and help him and also score. Help him score. But it's just Luka cannot carry the Dallas Mavericks by himself. And they can do a trade with, a Tim Hardaway Jr. And, they do, and probably some picks or whatever. But I just think just on fit alone, Kemba would be a better fit on the Mavs than he is on the Celtics. And, I just think with the Mavs, he'll have more chances to have the ball in his hand and do what he do best and not have to share with Tatum and Brown. But we'll see how it goes. Kyle Lowry, Toronto Raptors. I think Kyle Lowry should go to the Clippers. Kyle Lowry finally did it. He broke out, finally won a championship, a well-deserved championship in 2019. You know, he was a big part of winning that championship. He was the leader of that team. But they lost a lot of members of that championship team. They lost Danny Green. They lost Serge Ibaka. They lost Marc Gasol. They lost the Finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard. And now they just trying to rebuild around, you know, Siakam and Fred VanVleet, you know, the last remaining members of that championship team, that core. And Kyle Lowry, his age is just, he needs to go somewhere, try to get another ring. I mean, look, he's going to be a legend in Toronto. He's a made man in Toronto. I mean, he is never going to have to pay for another meal in Toronto ever again. He's the franchise leader in assists, steals, and three-pointers made. And Vince Carter might be the most popular Raptor, but Kyle Lowry, to me, is the most impactful Raptor. So, so I think he need to go somewhere, go to the Clippers, you know. And I think it makes sense because the Clippers don't have a point guard. I mean, they got Reggie Jackson and Pat Bev, but they don't have a scoring point guard. You have to think back to Game 7 last year against the Nuggets. You know, when Paul George and Kawhi were both struggling, they didn't have that third option. They didn't have that Pat Bev, you know, to help them. You know, imagine they had Kyle Lowry. Imagine they had Kyle Lowry, who's, you know, give you 18 on this season, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, had a 19 assist game, and I think he'd have been a better upgrade over Pat Bev and Reggie Jackson combined, you know. And when he was with Kawhi, you know, he can reunite with Kawhi in the Clippers. When him and Kawhi was in Toronto, he averaged about 9 assists a game. So now imagine him with Kawhi and PG-13 with Paul George. He'll definitely be a top 3 leader in assists. And Kyle Lowry seems to turn on in playoff time more than regular season Kyle Lowry. So I just think that he can form a big 3 with Kyle Lowry, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard at the Clippers, but we'll see how it goes. Last but not least, Zach Levine of the Chicago Bulls. I think Zach Levine should go to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are having the best season they've had since, you know, the 2014-15 Carmelo Anthony days. But this team is different, and I think it's better because back then it was just Melo, ISO, drill out the clock and shoot and jack up shots, and it was more about the defense. And here it's also, you know, about defense too, but the ball movement is there. You know, you got Julius Randle, who wasn't a superstar coming in. He was a very good player, you know, almost a star, but he has just been doing everything he can to get the Knicks to respectable. I mean, the Knicks are in a playoff push right now, you know, which is weird. They are hovering around a 500 mark, and in the East, that would get you a 6 or 7 seed, possibly, maybe 8 seed, but it would get you in the playoffs. But I think Zach Levine will be so much to him because Zach Levine is averaging 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And even though the Knicks are a top defensive team, you know, with R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson, they've been struggling offensively. And, you know, they're like second to last in league offensive rating, so they need Zach Levine points. So you got Julius Randle giving you, you know, 22, 23, and Zach Levine giving you 28, almost 29. He's number 6 in league in scoring. That's a 1-2 punch. You know, then you got, you know, R.J. Barrett, and you got Mitchell Robinson protecting the paint. The Knicks can push up and possibly become like a 5, maybe even a 4 seed, and it would be exciting to see the Knicks in the playoffs again. So those are my 7 players. Tell me what you guys think. This is like my longest video ever. I knew last time I made a long video I had 300 views, so I'm hoping to get more. But again, guys, like and subscribe. I'm trying to push out more content. I'll be making a video tomorrow on the 2 games that happened today. So thank you guys for listening to the video. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. It's Courtside with Jerome. Peace.